Good morning, everybody. It's May 10th, Saturday, I believe. Not that it matters to me because I got nowhere to be and nothing to do other than a little bit of hiking today. As you can see, again, weather's not bright and sunny, but it's actually nice and cool this morning. So a little break from the heat that we've had the last few days. Unfortunately, that was at the price of rain while I was trying to set up and eat dinner last night, which was not pleasant. And then dry night for the most part with heavy winds, but then naturally as soon as I decided to break down my hammock this morning, it started raining again and then stopped shortly after I finished. So I guess cursed to have a wet hammock, but hey, well, it'll dry and I'll be fine. So anyway, I got a couple of questions from my friends' daughters, so Aubrey and Aaliyah. Thanks for the questions, and hopefully you'll get to see the video here in a few days. So Aubrey, as far as bugs go, fortunately not a whole lot so far. I was really worried we'd see a lot of mosquitoes, but really not too many. A few flies, and then probably the most common thing I see out here are the millipedes, and a couple of different varieties of them. They get pretty big. One of them gets probably 4 or 5 inches long, but just sits there and chews on the bark of trees. And then there's a couple of more interesting millipedes that are a little bit smaller, only a few inches long, but I've seen them crawling along mostly on wetter mornings like today. I've seen a couple. I was hoping to catch one, but haven't seen it since I decided to take the video here, so sorry, you probably won't get to see one. But they've got yellow dots on their legs for one of them, and then another one has bright orange dots all over them, so a little creepy looking, but neat to see. Then there's a bright orange salamander out here as well, and so I ran across one of those this morning, and I've seen one other at a camp one night. But beyond that, really not too much to see. It's a few birds in the trees, some squirrels. I've seen the one bear, which you may have seen the video of, and other than that, that's pretty much it. As far as at night, I don't really hear anything because I put earplugs in, so I knew if I heard the least little rustle of leaves, I'd be sure a bear was coming up on me, so I decided I'd just continue sleeping with earplugs so that I didn't actually hear anything. So far that's worked out well. I've actually been able to sleep most nights and not wake up every 5 minutes going, what was that? What was that? Was that a bear? So don't hear any animals at night. I'm sure they're out there. I'm sure there's skunks, and people report coyotes often howling nearby or barking nearby. I'm sure every once in a while people have seen a bear come near, but as far as I know, there's pretty much nothing out there but the trees at night. And then Aaliyah, as far as angels go, I've seen 2 sets of trail angels, and that's the only kinds of angels I've seen. The first one was a Baptist youth group early on in the hike back at a Unicoi Gap, just after I'd left meals, resupply. They had an amazing spread of food. Hamburgers were being grilled up, and they had homemade chili and homemade brownies and cookies and fresh coffee for us. So that was by far the biggest treat we've seen on the trail yet, and that was my best trail magic. I had one other when I was going through the Smokies at Newfound Gap. A couple was there. He had hiked it. My husband had hiked it back with his son a number of years ago, and so ever since then they come out on the weekends in the month of April and set up there at Newfound Gap, and they were making ham and cheese sandwiches, had nice cold sodas and chips and a little bit of dessert. So that was a nice little break, and that one actually worked out really well because we were running low on food, and had we not run into them, we would have been having to probably stop our hike for a day and head down into Gatlinburg to resupply. So that one worked out really well. So anyway, well, today's another long day, hopefully. I managed about 20 yesterday. I'm trying to push up and over Roan Mountain today. I pushed longer yesterday just so I wouldn't hit Roan Mountain right when I was about 15 miles into my hike and right in the afternoon. So should hit it a little earlier today. hopefully push up and over it middle of the afternoon. It's one of the big peaks here in, I guess we're in northern Tennessee. It's a little over 6,000 feet. Not quite as high as Clingman's, but certainly close enough that it really doesn't matter. So that one's coming up. There have been varying rumors of different things near Roan and then a little bit past. We've got both what they call the rhododendron garden. It's supposed to be the largest stretch of thick rhododendrons. Unfortunately, they won't be in bloom. And then sometime after Roan in the next few days, there's going to be some herds of wild ponies. So it's very common for people on the trail to see them. It's a bunch of ponies that had been, or horses that have been released by farmers back in the late 1800s, I think they thought, or maybe the early 1900s. And they just went feral and have survived out here. So large groups of them, large herds of them. Hopefully I'll see them. Some of them get a little aggressive towards hikers occasionally, and will try and chew on their backpacks for the salt I hear. So hopefully I don't get ones that are that aggressive. It'd be cool to see them. So anyway, that's what I've got to look forward to over the next few days. We'll see. Rain in the forecast still. Pretty good chances of it for a solid week, but hopefully I'll dodge between most of them and just enjoy the cool weather instead. So everybody take care, and thank you very much for the questions. If anybody else ever has any curiosities, please let me know. You know, it gets a little boring out here sometimes, walking and looking at trees. So always happy to try and answer anybody's curiosities about what it is like out here and what the camping, what the hiking, what the trip has been like so far. So keep them coming. Hope everybody's good. We'll talk to you later. Bye.